Goodbye. All right, that's how I used to host my esports shows. I'm here to talk about the intersection of gaming, AI, and blockchain. That's the three conferences we have happening here, and I want to show you how these things all converge with each other. So first of all, a quick intro of myself. My name is Johnson, a founder and CEO for Ambrus Studio. Made my name from running League of Legends esports in China. I was formerly the Asia CEO for Riot Games, and then now doing my own Web3 gaming studio. I'm going to start with a question here. What is China's largest sport? Take a wild guess. Anyone who knows? Raise your hand. Basketball, football, soccer, badminton, tennis? That's correct. Esports. This is 2017 Bird's Nest, which is where 2008 Olympics opening and closing ceremony was held. We hosted the show here, 45,000 people. And we also broke the record in China's ticketing history by having almost 1 million people try to get the ticket for that. At the second, we opened the ticket sale and crashed China's largest game ticketing website. League of Legends esports broadcasts 6 billion hours a year at its peak. Completely changed the lives of a lot of people. And that's what I've been running, and that's why people call me the Godfather of Esports in China. So the esport has really changed the gaming industry for the last 10 years. You can see this is how the industry has been growing. And industry has actually will continue to be growing at a steady rate. But what's really changed in the last 10 years for gaming, esports, and streaming? Let's talk a little bit about this. Why is esports so unique? Because one, it creates common emotional attachment for people. You know, you play a game. It can be the most fun game in the world, but you can talk about your own progression, your own game, your take on the champion, but it doesn't have so many common topics that you can talk to with a friend. Versus when you take esports and make it a spectator sport, you can talk about Faker's awesome performance, just like you can talk about LeBron James or Michael Jordan. So it creates common emotional attachment for people. It allows broader group of people to engage because esport, anyone can watch it at a very, very low barrier, both in terms of time commitment and in terms of just not needing to actually control so many things. So that's why these large DAU free-to-play games really became the top of esport. And last but not least, this is where gaming allows people to have an expression of fandom and pride. How many of you grew up in a place where gaming is actually not encouraged by your parents? Please raise your hand. Well, certainly from my side, coming from East Asia. Parents did not like us when we tried the game. But esport now, IOC, Olympic Committee, is hosting its first esport tournament here in Middle East. And then there's so many things going on, and it is the perfect way for gamers around the world to express their pride. And that's why esport really grew over the last 10 years. How about its neighbor, streaming? Well, both of them happen on platforms like YouTube and Twitch. So streaming is actually a little bit similar, but in many ways the opposite. Esport is a highly standardized content. There's one stream, but in the bottom of it, as in there's so many different, unique streamers who stream the same content. So esport, although at its core is a standardized content, it still has infinite personalization of it. While streaming is an infinite personalization of gaming content. So that's actually the one big thing that makes streaming really strong in the last 10 years because of its interactivity and because of the infinite personalization of content. A streamer can be popular because it's a really handsome or really pretty streamer. It can be because really strong plays. It can be because this person is really fun, makes a lot of really cool jokes. There's just so many different ways a streamer can make a name out of themselves. But it's streamers also is an infinite representation of their fandom and pride. You really love someone's stream, you're going to send them a rocket, subscribe to their channel, give them gifts. And then that's where streaming and esport really came together. So you can imagine over the last 10 years, these things grew hand in hand. If there's no esport or there's no streaming, they wouldn't have grown so much. But together, they formed the perfect, let's say, loop of content. One that's standardized, the other that's infinitely personalized, one that's more hardcore, the other's more casual, but both represent fandom and pride, vanity, and shared emotional attachment for people. And together, they have transformed the gaming industry for the last 10 years. Now, what are things that will change the gaming industry over the next 5 years? Well, you can probably guess it, right? Here, right now, why did the host pick these three topics? Gaming, AI, Web3. Because together, they're the perfect combination that changes the world, at least on the gaming side, where I'm more qualified to talk about. So I'm going to talk about these things and how they're going to really change and how they come together. So first, I'm going to start with daring calls on some big industry trends for gaming in the next 5 years. The first one, VR finally has a chance to succeed. So people have been talking about VR. In fact, the first wave of VR was 10 years ago, the hype. But it has not reached its potential right now. The total installed base of different type of machines is just over 10 million, but it's still growing at a slow pace. And then the cost for hardware has not come down. But a few things is changing it. First, Apple, the big name, the name that can really attract hardcore fans, came in with Apple Vision Pro. Two, the revolution of AI. The revolution of AI allows cheaper content creation, including VR content. And three, it is because the cost has finally come to a place where more and more people are dedicated to creating these type of content. So when people are finally creating this type of content, then VR will finally break out of the current conundrum that it's been in. So I finally believe that over the next 5 years, there will be gaming that's natively designed for VR that's going to break out in the next 5 years. So that's the first big daring bet. Second, AI GC will become a norm in the entire gaming industry in so many different ways. In gaming right now, AI GC is already very, very much used for 2D production. In fact, most studios can save up to 70% on their 2D art. My studio literally have one person doing 2D art because she leverages AI and has huge productivity gains versus the past norms. But 3D modeling in AI is still lagging behind, but it's going to catch up. There's so many different technology possible, so many different people pursuing this, and it's going to break through. So that means the cost of production for gaming will continue to go down. And then AI GC will become the norm for gaming in the future. And what does that mean? That means that the big studios, those that rely on AAA titles, huge investments, they're going to slowly lose their power over the next few years. Activision Blizzards, the Supercell, Riot Games, Epic Games, they're going to be challenged over the next 5 years. Why? Just like in the past, everyone watches the national news channel. Let's say in China, it's CCTV. Now people don't watch CCTV anymore. People watch TikTok, which is China local in Douyin, called Douyin. So this is an age of infinite personalization. And when individuals, small studios, single-person shops can leverage AI to make content really, really quickly, it's going to lead to a boom, a very, very decentralized boom in the entire gaming industry. Yes, the big studios will still have their edge. There are genres, let's say the genre that I used to run, right? League of Legends, where you need critical mass. So you need still, it's the big, it's still the gaming field for the large studios. But there will be so many different single-person shops who can produce games that focuses on one very, very niche audience and deliver the experience to them. And that's going to completely change the gaming industry. We call it the long tail of gaming production. And that's going to be the future for gaming, which is the long tail. Everyone can make games. Everyone can use gaming as a way to make personal expression infinitely personalized for themselves. And another trend, that's interactivity. So let's say streaming. How is it different? Let's just say streaming for selling goods. How is it different than TV shopping channels? One, infinite personalization of content, and two, interactivity. So there will be more and more. I mean, gaming by itself is interactive, but gaming-related content, whether it's streaming, whether it's esports, whether it's these short films, real shorts type of films, there will be more and more interactivity. So the gaming world and the entertainment world will converge more and more because they all leverage the same principles, which is interactivity. Imagine a game. Let's say your favorite show, and now you can decide what the main character is going to do, whether he decides to, let's say, stay at home or go out and fight this war. You decided. Interactive viewing experience. In the past, you can't do it because producing a whole new stream of content is super expensive. Now you watch your favorite film and you can decide what's going to be next because using AIGC, producing content like this is very, very cheap. And there's going to be one more thing that changes the entire gaming industry, Web3. Combining all the things I said, right? Infinite personalization, streaming, esports. You realize that the future of content creation is further and further away from these big studios. It's more and more in the hands of the individuals. So Web3 is perfect for that because it uses blockchain technology to give these creators hacks that this is created by me, smart contracts that allow them for perpetual revenue stream. And we realize that's the magic. That's how Web3 can really change the entire gaming industry. So I have a few things that I think that Web3 will really change the gaming industry. One, nascent emerging markets. India, South Asia, Middle East, Africa. Middle East, non-GCC area. Why? Because these countries used to be not profitable. But Web3 allows for higher ARPU, lower customer acquisition cost, and then make these markets now potentially profitable if played well. Gambling-related games, Web3 can really help it because it's an open ledger and you can verify them. Pay for power games because it's a perfect way to create a flying wheel effect. And any games that allows infinite personalization of content. So let me elaborate more a little bit using what I am doing as an example. to tell you why this is such magic. So this is what I'm working on, Ambrus Studio. It's a gaming company focused on a mobile MOBA game like League of Legends. No play to earn, but we leverage technology to enhance player experience and solve gaming industry problems. So how do we do it? Let me use an example that combines all the trends that I talked about. So I'm going to hire, for example, the most famous esports player in the world. His name is Faker, a Korean, 5 champions in the League of Legends. Let's assume that I hire him. He plays my game and then quickly, it's a 3v3, and quickly gets a triple kill. Traditionally, there's nothing that he can do with it because the content is controlled by the developers. But in the AIGC Web3 world, Faker can now take his first triple kill in my game, leverage his AIGC to create his own skin. This is Faker's memorable first triple kill in this game. And it can be produced very, very quickly because of AI. He can put his timestamp on it. It's 2025, December 10th. He can put his signature on it. And then now, people are buying that skin not because the skin is worth a lot. It's like buying the first shot that Michael Jordan made in NBA. It's valuable because the fandom attached to Faker. And that's just how all this come together. Leveraging AI changes the productivity put them into the hands of people. Web3 allows for the creators to have perpetual revenue streams from it and verify that's indeed done by them. Combining that with what we talked about, this infinitely personalization of content, this is the perfect age for the way content is created and consumed to change. It is a decentralized world where gaming will be created by all of us, not just the big studios, and consumed because what you love is no longer that big gaming studio. It's because this famous streamers or famous esports player that you care about is playing the game. That's how the future is going to change. And that's how all of this come together. So we, as a studio, focus us on this, but I think what's more important is the future is here. This is a perfect age where things all came together. Esports, streaming has changed the industry for the last 10 years. AI is coming. VR is coming. Continue that with the infinitely personalization of content. You realize that we have a decentralized age coming for gaming. An age where you can all play your favorite games because it's created by someone who is exactly on the same frequency as you. So the future is here. I hope with today's content and with all these 3 shows, you'll be able to learn about all 3 things and how they come together. And hopefully you'll realize that this is coming as well and you are ready to capture it. So thank you very much for coming and listening to the opening speech. I hope this gives you a great context to enjoy all 3 shows for the next 2 days. Thank you.